So in effect, you're trying to get the witness to testify about why your client would believe something that she didn't say.
No. And so that's I want to hear what you were, I want to understand what you were thinking when you made the statement. And because you very categorically said here today, well, that fetus was not alive. And you've said it with certainty. And so I'm trying to determine why that certainty. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to say, well, my client should have had that certainty as well. And so I'm trying to figure out what the indicators would be. So I mean, so that's where I'm going. So why would, when a fetus in this, what you were describing on the video, the fetus just falls out, why were you certain that those fetuses were not alive when they fell out?
Asked and answered a half dozen times at least.
Because they're not alive.
And how do you know that?
Because they're not alive. I don't know what you want me to say other than that.
Well, and by not alive, do you mean that they were not moving?
Correct.
And do you mean that they did not have a heartbeat?
It would depend.
Okay. And when you say it would depend, what do you mean?
I can see hearts that are not in an intact POC that are beating independently.
Oh, okay.
But they're not attached to anything.
Okay. And then by not alive, would you say that for those fetuses that just fell out, would their umbilical cord not be pulsating?
It's not.
Okay. And why not?
Again, that's calling for expert medical opinion.
Why do you answer so certain?
Because it doesn't, the placenta doesn't come out with the fetus. Yeah, it's not alive. I don't understand why anyone would think that a 8-week fetus is alive when it's outside the womb.
And again, and we had talked that there could also be an 18-week fetus. And you said that in a situation, you mentioned that the placenta doesn't come out with the fetus. Would that hold true for an 18-week fetus?
I'm not a physician,
Right.
and so I can't answer that with any knowledge about what they're doing.
Okay. But just you answered certainly about the umbilical cord pulsating, which is one. It's an indicator. I don't want to represent that it's what it is, but just that is an indicator for some. And so, again, I'm familiar with a full-term birth. There's an umbilical cord. It's cut. So it's pulsating, obviously, and then cut. For, say, an 18-week fetus that just falls out, would it have an umbilical cord still attached?
Objection. Calls for expert testimony. This witness is not.
I'm not in the OR. I don't know.
Okay, but again, you had said, I'd asked about the umbilical cord, and you said no, and you were certain about it. And I was wondering why you were certain about it.
Because it's usually cut, and you can't just pull the placenta out. So, yeah.
So the fetus emerges, and the umbilical cord would be cut in that process?
It depends on what the doctor does. I don't know that for sure. When I get it, that's what I see.
Certainly. And when you say it depends on the doctor does as to the umbilical cord, is it your understanding when the fetus just falls out for an 18-week fetus that the umbilical cord may still be pulsating as the fetus emerges?
Again, I'm going to object. This calls for, improper expert testimony from a witness who is not a physician and is not in the room.
I'm not in the OR.
again, I'm trying to get, I just want to establish, we're almost finished with the establishment of the various points. You had said that the umbilical cord was not pulsating for a fetus that just falls out. But you've also said you're not in the OR, so I'm wondering, could the umbilical cord be pulsating for an 18-week fetus that just falls out?
I'm going to object again, calls for expert testimony from a lay witness. She's
I
not a
don't know.
physician.
And you don't know? Okay. Okay. All right. And have you ever seen, have you ever seen sorry, strike that. For a situation where a fetus just falls out, has that ever occurred at a Planned Parenthood affiliate, to your knowledge?
Not when I have been there.
Okay. And have you, do your technicians share with you when they are in a procurement situation where a fetus just falls out?
They just tell me what tissue they get, not how it, not whether it's intact or not.
Okay. And have any of your procurement technicians shared with you any situations where the fetus just fell out at a Planned Parenthood affiliate?
No.
Peter, I'm sorry, I'm going to object to you. We're now in protective border territory.
Oh,
And
okay.
this is-
I was just trying to establish the, again, link it to the case, but I'm not asking any more questions on that topic. I get in trouble for asking questions about Planned Parenthood. I get in trouble for not asking questions about Planned Parenthood.
So it's about 3:20. Can
Let's take a
we
break.
take a
Sure.
break?
Okay, we're off the record at 3:17 p.m.